If you do not hold it, you do not own it. Crypto, you don't hold it. Why on earth should anybody buy crypto? Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. Those of you that are unfamiliar with the channel, I'm the Stacking Stormtrooper. I got with me right here my new friend Matthew Irving from Crypto Breakdown. How you doing,
Hello.
Matt?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And so this, just for my viewers, and I'm going to tell them the story that I've already said to you, like I've repeated like twice already to you. This is like the third time. This is the weird thing, is that I bought crypto for the first time today, and literally within 10 minutes, I received an email from you. And I was like, okay, it's fate. I gotta talk to this guy.
It
Um,
is. I agree.
and my
Absolutely fate.
Oh, and my wife, I told her, I'm like, I just bought some crypto. I got this email from this guy. She's like, that's weird. That's weird. They know your stuff. I'm like, there's no possible way, because with my crypto wallet, or whatever the heck it's called, it's my real name. There's no way you would have known my real name with my, like, there's just no way. It was fate. So
It's
I'm,
universal synchronicity, is
you
what
know,
I like to call it.
absolutely. And I'm happy to have you. And
Yeah, I'm
already,
happy to be here, man. This is
thank
great.
you. So here's the thing. The thing with the precious metals community is that a lot of the people are of the mindset that if you do not hold it, you do not own it. Crypto, you don't hold it. Having said that, why on earth should anybody buy crypto?
Bitcoin especially was the first. It kind of like was the it broke the ice on this whole thing, this blockchain phenomenon. But it is the first thing of value that you can transfer from one person to the other on the internet. So it's kind of hard to understand, but this is the first thing that there is no intermediary. I can send you money right now in the form of Bitcoin, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. No Federal Reserve, no PayPal. As long as you have an internet connection, you can get it. And
Right.
that's very powerful as far as I'm concerned. It's similar to trading silver and gold in person.
Right. Right.
We don't have to report that transaction to the government. Maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. That's up for
Right.
debate.
Right.
And
Well,
Bitcoin is the same thing.
yeah, and here's the thing too, and this is where there is some similarity in the mentality of the people that own crypto and the people that own precious metals, because there are a lot of people within the stacking community who do not like the government knowing how much money they have. They are very much of the mindset that they don't want their transactions to be traced. A lot of them don't want to buy their precious metals off of the bullion dealers online, because there is a digital footprint, there's transactions, it can be tracked. So a lot of these individuals, they will like to, go to their local coin shop and buy their silver and gold cash, take that, silver and gold, and hide it somewhere. And it's almost like the same kind of, thinking, right? Crypto, you can't really trace it per se. I mean, it's like you said, it's all this blockchain ledger stuff. I mean, I can't really speak to the technical jargon of it just yet, but it's kind of the same thing, right? It's kind of anonymous, and I find it fascinating. It took me a while to kind of understand it. I had to watch some documentaries on it. The precious metals individuals that love silver and gold, they don't want the government knowing how much they have and everything like that. You want to tell some of the viewers that are watching this video as to, why crypto is kind of like the perfect, I guess if you want to call it an investment. I mean, what the heck do you even call it? A perfect thing for that purpose, like kind of to keep everything on the DL?
So there's a couple ways of thinking about that. Like you today, before we talked, you spoke about how you went on Coinbase.
Yes.
And I'm sure you saw during the process, you have to give them all types of information.
Yes.
So when you're buying through an institution like that, it is not that anonymous. Now, obviously you have to give your information, and that's for a reason, because they want to track who is buying what amount of Bitcoin. So when you do it like that, and let's say you take that money off of Coinbase and send it to your private wallet,
Right.
That's going to be on the blockchain forever. And if the government for some reason wanted to find what you were doing, they could go to Coinbase and get that information, and they could track everything you've done as far as following that Bitcoin to this wallet, which went to this wallet, which went to this wallet, which is absolutely against what any stacker is about.
Right.
However, just like Bitcoin or just like silver and gold, if we wanted to, we could meet on the street and I could have you download a Bitcoin wallet app, and it would just be a QR code, and I would scan it, and it would immediately tell you if I'm trying to send you real Bitcoin or some type of fake coin. So you would know right away if, if I was trying to be a scam artist or something like that.
There's already like fake Bitcoins and stuff?
Well,
like counterfeit, kind of like knockoff. How does that even?
It's a very good question. There's people that try to knock it off, but the only way you can get scammed is if you really just go and hand someone your money and you don't know what you're doing. As soon as you scan that QR code, it'll give me your address, and it'll say right away, this is invalid. This is not a real Bitcoin.
An address meaning like the address of the Bitcoin, not like the physical address. Like, because some people, some people in the community, what, they're gonna know my address? I'm not interested. Yeah.
No. So what you do is you generate an address, and if you wanted to, you could generate a thousand addresses, and it's literally just an alphanumeric code of letters and numbers, and there is no tie to your identity whatsoever.
Right.
And with that address, you'll get a private key so you can access it anywhere you want.
And so then what? You just download that wallet again in the future, and then
you put in your private
key, and then all poof, then you're not.
And it runs it through what's called a hashing program.
Yeah.
And that program says, yes, this private key is tied to this wallet.
Right.
And but it's not stored in some database somewhere. This is where the crypto word comes from. It's a mathematical equation that it runs through, and that's how it ties it to that address. If we do it the right way, like I said, we can go and send it to each other in person, and there's no transaction to that.
Right.
All that's going to be on the blockchain is a 20-digit numerical code. Send it to this other 20-digit numerical code. The only reason they can track you through Coinbase is because they have your information, and they say this account is tied to this name. What you want to do is, typically what people do is buy it through Coinbase, and then they send it offline. They send it to a self-hosted wallet. So you'll have a wallet that you have the private key to, you have all the information, and nobody else has it. And then you store it there. Now, and I show that how to do that in my newsletter. It's very easy to do.
Now, here's the other thing, and this is you and I were talking about this. I'm a believer that you should not have all of your eggs in one basket. And, that is in part why I buy stock. That's why I own silver. That's why I own gold. That's why I have my 401k. That's why I have my 403b. Like, that's why I hold cash. Like, I have my money in all these different areas. And I'll be honest with you, and I almost had some of the kind of like crap, I really missed the boat on crypto mentality.
We've all felt that. And
it wasn't until today that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to view it very similarly to how I view silver and gold. I'll just, I'll be buying it, holding it long term. If the prices go up, great. If it goes down, I'm going to look at it as like a buying opportunity to dollar cost average down. I feel like, to my viewers, that they should kind of start considering looking at cryptocurrencies, because I don't believe you should have all of your eggs in one basket. I don't think that they should only hold silver and gold. I do think that they should have some form of their wealth in crypto. Now, having said that, yes, it's a risk. It's just like owning stock. It goes up and down. It fluctuates. But I would much rather be on the side of, you know what? I put in a few grand. I lost it. Oh, well, at least I tried. Instead of seeing the prices skyrocket, which they just did this last month, and be like, oh man, I really should have invested. Why didn't I?
Absolutely.
So, having said that, do you think it's too late for people?
No, not even remotely close to too late. I think we're barely getting started. Well, it's probably around $19,000.
Yeah, a little over 19.
When I bought my first Bitcoin, it was $2,000, and that was in 2017. I thought for sure, I'm like, oh my god, I missed it. It's way too late. And now,
Look at you.
it's we're like $20,000. I think is going to be a great buying opportunity. It has a finite supply, and you
Right.
know exactly how much there's going to be. There can never be any more. And if this becomes the digital alternative to gold, which some people think it will be,
Yeah.
it should be highly valuable.
Right. And I think, and that's again too, like the kind of the mentality that I'm looking at it is that, it really, there are so many parallels between crypto and silver and gold. And the thing too is, looking at the stacking community on YouTube, you're seeing a lot more people getting into crypto. They're talking about it more on their live streams. They're talking about it more in their videos. It's becoming more mainstream. And I just saw the other day BlackRock, one of the largest hedge funds, they said it's going to become it's going to become a legitimate asset class. Gold is considered to be an asset. And so, I think now that you're seeing these financial institutions and these hedge funds and private equity firms kind of giving legitimacy behind crypto, you're going to see more people getting into it. At least that's what I think.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I pulled the trigger today. And again, I didn't put a lot in, but I will be. I will be putting more in as time goes on. I have to wait until I get paid, and I'll take some of that
Yeah.
money and I'll put it into buying more. The one thing I did want to ask you about is, and you may or may not know the answer to this, which is fine. There are so many different cryptocurrencies now, and
Yes.
Bitcoin is like, to me, it's like, okay, that's like, the cream of the crop. That's the mainstream one that everybody's heard of. That's the one that a lot of people aspire to own more of. And now you're seeing XRP, and I can't even pronounce some of the Ethereum and
Ethereum.
titanium,
Yes.
millennium, and all these
Ethereum.
idioms and whatever. Which ones do you see people should purchase? Like, which ones are the ones that people should be
Okay.
buying?
What I would personally do is buy Bitcoin,
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a huge proponent of Chainlink, which
Okay.
is, I think, the seventh or eighth market cap coin.
Right.
Um, those three are a very, very solid, kind of like overarching covering theme of the whole thing.
Right.
If you have those three and crypto continues to advance,
Right.
I would think that you should do pretty well.
Right.
And it is overwhelming. I mean, there are so many coins out there. It's hard to know which ones are going to be important, but
I feel like you're almost, to be honest, I feel like it's almost like going to the racetrack and picking the right horse.
it can
And,
be. It absolutely can be. It's starting to mature slowly. It's still a very young um, industry, I guess you could call
yeah, yeah, it really is. Don't you see the government trying to step in and regulate it?
it. Something like Ethereum is so powerful and innovative that it would be similar if they wanted to ban it. It would be similar to banning the internet in your country. If you wanted to do it, you could, but you're not going to solve much, and you're just going to hurt your country astronomically. And
Okay.
other people, China, Russia, whoever, they're not going to do that, and they're going to continue advancing. It feels to me like their hands are tied to a certain degree, but yes, they are going to regulate it. What they're going to do is regulate the fiat on ramps.
Right,
So
right.
they can track who's doing what.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you keep it in a wallet that has not been connected to your information on a fiat on ramp like Coinbase.
Right.
So it is entirely possible to have that aspect like gold and silver where nobody has any idea
Right.
how much Bitcoin you have and how much funds you have. And I just think I wanted to get that in there. I feel like that's important to know.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I crossed paths with you because, like I said, I mean, this is still very new to me. I kind of understand it, but you're talking about all these, these other like hidden hidden wallets, and taking it off of Coinbase and sticking it in this other wallet. And so when time comes for me to start doing all that, I'm going to be calling you and be like, all right, Matt,
Absolutely. Anytime, any
you
day.
have to.
Always happy to talk with subscribers.
It's awesome, and I'm happy to have you. And
Yeah, I'm
already,
happy to be here, man. This is
thank
great.
you. And I just want to quickly thank these elite channel supporters, and if you haven't become a channel member, please check out the awesome perks and join today. With that, I'm the Stacking Stormtrooper. Check out these videos. Until next time, long live the Empire.